I want to start off wishing everybody a happy and healthy new year. Happy 2021. We can finally put 2020 in our rearview mirror. But I got one more question about 2020. Who is the MVP? LeBron James or Patrick Mahomes? I understand why people would think LeBron is the most valuable player of 2020, but it's actually Patrick Mahomes. Let's start with LeBron first. I totally understand the circumstances the NBA had to deal with. Year 17, won Finals MVP with a storied franchise in the Lakers. He's the first player in NBA history to win 3 Finals MVPs with 3 different franchises. He accomplished a lot this year. I totally understand that. With the 5-month layoff when Corona happened, that's no one expected that. That was extremely unexpected. And then having a 5-month layoff is basically a very long offseason for him, which in reality is not helping his body. He had to recondition himself, get back into quote-unquote playoff mode once the bubble and the restart happened. And especially, he's a guy who's not ever used to playing in empty arenas. LeBron's a guy who had his high school games nationally televised, being on the cover of Sports Illustrated, playing in packed arenas not only in high school, but the NBA, home crowds or away crowds. Any LeBron game, the crowd is packed. He means the most to the NBA revenue, means the most to the fans, means the most to his team. But if we're going to be realistic, LeBron had Anthony Davis by his side, who in my estimation is a top 2 to 3 player in the year of 2020. The only other guy besides LeBron you could argue that is better than Anthony Davis is Kawhi Leonard. I don't think there's anyone else in the league better than him who played in 2020. When you pair the best player in the league with a top 2 to 3 player, it's basically a wrap. No other team has a fighter's chance. If we're going to be realistic with ourselves, as great as LeBron was in these playoffs, as tough of the circumstances the NBA had to deal with, there were no teams that really had a fighter's chance to beat the Lakers. We know the Blazers weren't, except the bozo haters who tried to make a claim that the Blazers were going to beat the Lakers. People tried to make the claim the Rockets were. We knew that wasn't going to happen. The Nuggets never really had a chance, and neither did the Miami Heat. LeBron had a great playoff run, no doubt about it, accomplished a lot, a huge upgrade to his legacy getting this Finals MVP. If we're going to be realistic, there's probably 5 other playoff runs individually he was much better than 2020. That's why it's hard for me to say LeBron was the MVP of 2020. The answer is Patrick Mahomes. Yes, this happened in the calendar year of 2020. Patrick Mahomes is fantastic, historically great playoff run. 3 straight double-digit comeback victories, winning the Super Bowl and winning Super Bowl MVP. And let me add, Mahomes is the only player in NFL history to have 3 comeback victories by double digits or more in their entire career, not named Tom Brady. If you are ever in the same sentence with Tom Brady, you are doing something right at the quarterback position. And let's not forget that he did this in 1 postseason run, let alone his entire career. In 2020, the Kansas City Chiefs are 17-1, including the postseason, behind Mahomes under center. Mahomes is having another fantastic season this year, leads the league in yards with 4,700 yards and counting, has 38 touchdowns to 6 interceptions, will finish second in league MVP. And just the intangibles and what Mahomes could do, he's doing things that we have never seen in the history of football. The way Mahomes could extend plays is the best I've ever seen in my life. And there's nobody who could come close to that. His ball placement, throw on the run, throw from the pocket, reading defenses, everything and more Mahomes gives you. What he has done to that Chiefs team to elevate them when things aren't going right, when their defense isn't playing well, you can always count on him, and you could always count on him in the clutch. His worst games of the season, people can make the argument the game against the Dolphins was his worst game of the year. Yeah, he only threw for 393 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then he had 3 interceptions. That's why it was his worst game. That's how great he is. That's the standard we are comparing Mahomes to the rest of the league. The gap between Mahomes and the next best quarterback, probably Aaron Rodgers, who will win the MVP, is a bigger gap than a LeBron to any other player in the league. That's why Mahomes initially is the most valuable player of 2020. But please let me know in the comment section below, who do you think was the MVP of 2020? LeBron James or Patrick Mahomes? And again, thank you for watching my content. And if you haven't already, make sure you follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube for more of my content.